Hello everyone, GeneralApple here, and welcome back to another House and Fata Morgana video. And on our last playthrough, we were at the Midsummer Festival, which was pretty enjoyable because we got to see Morgana opening up again, if just by a little, and finally getting along with everyone else, and it was super cool to see. We didn't get much of the big story picture, except the fact that we met some random woman, which I 99% sure she is the one that plotted with Jacopo to overthrow the Lord, that pretended to be his mother. But again, I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. I mean, it's kinda obvious. So let's just continue right where we left off last time, which is right after the festival has ended. So, Morgs, let's sleep together tonight. Morgs. You act like this is some kind of special occasion. You come sleep with me every night, you don't work. Only on days I don't work. It's not like I'm off every day, so yeah, I'd say it's a special occasion. I had a very long day, so I would really like to... hey. I had a super great time today. It's kind of felt like you've been distant lately, so it was really nice being able to spend the day with you. I haven't been... So, you don't hate me or anything then? No, I don't. Oh, thank goodness. I don't have any reason at all to feel anything so hostile towards her. But for some reason, I do feel a strange discomfort in her presence. Whenever I see her talking to someone, laughing with them, something unpleasant wells up in my chest. What is that feeling? I don't understand the things I feel. We should go out again sometime. Oh, she's already asleep? I should get to sleep as well. I can forget about everything in my dreams. This unpleasantness in my chest. This lump in my throat. Absolutely everything. Will she have another bad dream? Yes, it appears so. Mother, you agreed with me. You said I was right. So why are you taking money from that man? Mother, why? Because you're worthless to me. Oh. God. Cheers to Saint Blood and good fortune to all. Oh, I almost forgot. You need to eat too, don't you, daughter of God? I'm told consuming meat increases the amount of blood in your body produces. So, I've acquired some special exotic meat just for you. Oh God. All I and my guests desire is a good time. You are nothing more than an exhibit for our entertainment. All that matters is that you continue to play the role of a saint. You're a damned witch wearing a saint's skin. Oh. God, what a horrible picture. Oh. Are you okay, Morgs? Yes, I'm fine. You don't look fine at all. You're paler than a ghost. What's wrong? Are you sick? Hold on, I'll go get someone. Don't. Huh? Don't get anyone. But I'm fine, as I said. I apologize for waking you. Go back to sleep. I can't just go back to sleep with you looking like that. This isn't the first time this has happened, Morgs. I haven't mentioned it before, but you sometimes toss and turn real bad in your sleep, groaning and whimpering like you're in pain. Do you have nightmares about the place that you used to be? I don't like to see you hurting, Morgs. You can tell me anything. It'll take some of the weight off to get it out. Then everything can be all happy and smiles again. Talking. Oh, that's it. Let the bad memories out. Replace them with all the fun we have. Stop talking! Oof. No! Stop acting like you know anything about me. That's not what I want to say. I'm not like you. I can't switch everything off and laugh like nothing is wrong. I must keep the ugliness inside. I can't let it out. Stop trying to make me into something I'm not and will never be. I can't stop. I can't keep it in. Stop trying to drag me down into your world, to rip me from my identity. Make it stop. Stop trying to make me into a normal girl. Please, make it stop. Morg. Hey, what's all the racket? quiet down, would you? I was almost asleep. I'm sorry. What? Hold on, Morgs. Where are you going? Get back here. The pre-drawn air slithered over my skin. It crawled down my throat, warm and humid and unpleasant. It didn't cool me down as I had hoped it would, instead causing the heat within to build up further as I ran. The tight, squeezing, nauseating feeling swelled. My heart and spirit, which I had believed to be pure and clean and sacred, were now a putrid mire. The filthy air of the slums tainted me. This isn't who I am. This isn't me. With no goal, no direction in mind, I dashed down a barely lit alleyway. I don't let my emotion run wild. I know how to control my words. I don't feel animosity without reason. That's not what I'm supposed to be. I knew good and well Jern had meant me no ill will. Jern, Maria, him, they all had the best intentions. I wasn't so blind as to not realize that. Those good intentions simply annoyed me to no end. And that, I finally realized what I was feeling. That was the source of all of my discomfort. Every act of kindness felt as though it was being forced on me. As though everyone was walking on eggshells around me. Every kind thing someone did only made me feel that much more pitiful. A life of cheer and excitement seemed like a distant dream, and I hated myself for how inferior that made me feel. But I couldn't take the hands being offered to me either. A couple of years earlier, I would not have felt any of these ugly, sad, pathetic emotions. If anything, I would have been proud that I had no place among regular people. So why was it all so agonizing now? Why did I feel like I wanted to scream at the top of my lungs? At some point in my frenzy, I made my way fairly deep into the slums. Sunrise was approaching, but the stench of alcohol still hung thick in the air, and mixed in was a wide array of sharp body odors and excrement. Ugh. Remaining here was unwise. However, I wasn't sure which way to go to get back out. Hey, chum, would you look at that? A girl it is. It's the blackguards talking. Happy days. I don't got the coin to go down to the whorehouse. Whoa. I have to get out of here. Ooh, gonna dash she is. Wonder how far she'll make it on them twiggy legs. Yeah, a little resistance just make it more exciting. Oh, father, please lead me from this place. Hold on a sec. Look at the girl's face. Huh? Who gives a rat ass if she's ugly? What in the flying fuck is wrong with her face? She might have some kind of disease. Oh, hell no. Me pecker ain't getting nowhere near that. Let's get out of here before we catch whatever she's got. And here is getting my hopes up. You and your disease can piss right off. As the man walked off, it wasn't relief that welled up within me. My knees gave out, and I fell to the hard ground. I trembled, not in fear, but in unmitigated despair. Their harsh words cut into me like so many blades. I'm not diseased. I'm pure, holy. My body and my blood are divine. I hadn't forgotten was how people saw me. My nightmares did well enough to ensure I couldn't. Every time I passed by a mirror, I couldn't avoid the dreadful sight of my own face. My skin was rough and patchy every time I reached up to touch it. But even with those constant reminders, in my time at the brothel, nobody had ever acted outwardly prejudiced. They treated me like I was anyone else. At the festival, no one said a word. But it struck me now that the only reason for that was because I was there with others. I had a renewed awareness of my own unpleasantness. A renewed awareness that no one saw me as a saint, but a hideous witch. That even desperate, drunk, homeless men wanted nothing to do with me. My spirit shriveled. Anger welled up within me. I wanted nothing more than to scream. But Ah, but I knew that if I did, it would only make me feel that much worse about myself. Ah, there you are. I've been looking all over. Morgs! It's not safe to be out at this hour. There's still all sorts of scary people in the streets. Let's go back, okay? Come on. If I said anything to hurt or upset you, I'm sorry. I'm not good at the whole picking up on what people are feeling thing. Just stop. What? I don't want your pity. I hate being treated like that. I hate the way you're always acting like you feel sorry for me. I hate it. I can't stand it. No, that's not it. I don't. And I hate you. I don't hate you. Oh god. You're just a filthy whore. A dirty, blasphemous whore. Stop. Stop talking. This isn't how I actually feel. You're as impure as they come. I don't want to hurt you. You think your chastity is meaningless. You're just an animal. In fact, I envy your optimism, your unwavering positivity. I don't need your solid pity. I am so much more pure, so much more holy than you can ever hope to be. I hate myself more than anyone. I hate that I can't make it stop, that I keep saying these things I don't mean. Yeah, you're right. I'm not pure. You're absolutely right. What? You've got the purest heart of anyone. I know that, so you don't need to get mad or sad or anything. What is wrong with you? How can you say that? 'Cause it's true. Get angry. Huh? Did you not hear all the terrible things I said about you? Get angry at me. Insult me back. Hurt me as much as I hurt you. I'm not hurt though. I'm not mad or upset about anything you said. So I have no reason to say anything mean to you. Of course she's not. No matter how much Vitaroll I spit, it just slides right off her. She remains unscathed. Meanwhile I only get uglier and uglier. You're a damned witch. Oh. All the quotes we already know from the first game. Morgs? What's going on? I can't breathe. I can't breathe. What's wrong, Morgs? Oh god, what do I do? Will rubbing your back make it better? Oh my god. I think she's having a panic attack. It's not helping at all. Someone, she needs help. Hey, you there, what's the ruckus? What? Morgana? What's going on? What are you doing here? Jackie, Moore just suddenly started having trouble breathing and nothing I do is making it any better. Stand back. She's hyperventilating. Okay, Morgana, listen to me. I need you to calm yourself. You need to exhale, breathe out. Don't worry, it'll all be over soon. Slowly. Breathe out slowly. That's good. Oh. I'll be right here the whole time. Don't you worry one bit. No one's going to hurt you. You're safe now. You're okay. Oh my. Oh, thank goodness. It looked like she's all better. I was scared stiff. We're lucky you showed up, Jackie. What were you doing out this early, though? The gang takes shifts doing patrols. I happen to be on duty right now. I'd like to ask you the same thing. What the hell are the two of you doing in this rat's nest? About that. You know, lots of reasons. And none of them is an excuse for two young girls to be alone in a place like this. You're prime targets for the kind of scumbags who try to go after you. No one came after us. No one would target someone who looks like me. I have all the proof I need of that. Then what caused that? Morgana. Hey, I'm gonna head back, Jackie. That's a good idea. I'll accompany the two of you. No, I'll be fine on my own. The sun's out, and all the scary people have gone away. Excuse me? You're going back alone? Well. I figure Maurice needs some time to calm the rest of the way down, and there's too many people at the brothel to do it there. So if you take her somewhere nice and quiet, that'd be amazing. I'll let Maria know. Somewhere quiet, such as... See you later. Wait, hey, Gurn. And she's gone. Where can I take her that's quiet without a lot of people? Is there even a... I guess a cemetery? There is one place. So, Morgana, if you would rather go back to the brothel, let me know, okay? But anyway, by process of elimination, there's only one place I can take you that satisfy all the requirements given. I assure you that, under any other circumstances, this would not be my first choice, and I'm only proposing it because there is no other suitable option. So, yeah. You can come back to my place. Oh, that's way better than I thought. Now, don't get any strange ideas. I swear on my honor, I have no intention of doing anything to you. Not that I would even have any interest in doing such any things to a child like you. So, with that in mind, would you rather go there or back to the brothel? I would like to get out of here sooner rather than later. So if you could make a decision, I'd really appreciate it. Morgana, I don't want to go back to the brothel yet. Alright then, off we go, I guess. Okay. Do you need help getting up? My legs have given out. Grab my shoulders. I'll carry you. Come on now, hurry it up. I was never one to initiate physical contact with anyone. I acted as though I simply didn't like it, but in truth, I was probably more scared than anything. How was I even supposed to offer these scar-ridden hands to anyone? How was I even supposed to approach someone with the most of the skin on my face missing? I could tell myself again and again that every scar was a sign of my sacred sacrifice. But in what I had once felt pride, now I only felt disgust. I lamented the wounds obscuring my skin, and for the first time, I sincerely wished for them all to heal, as any other girl my age might. Then, I wouldn't have to feel like I was ugly. I wouldn't have to hesitate to offer my hand. I wouldn't have any reservation about him touching me. Oh, man. Oh, thank God. Another beautiful image. Thank you. That's beautiful. Let's take a moment and appreciate that. Incredible. The sun's coming up. Look at that. Pretty impressive, huh? The sun's light even reaches this deep, dark corner of the world. I mean, of course it does, but I don't know. For some reason, it seemed particularly bright today. Hey, Morgana, can I ask how you ended up here? What happened? Did you get in a fight with Jern? Something like that. Huh. Well, there's something you don't see every day. But I guess, whenever you have more than one person in the same place, problems are going to arise eventually. Jern might be a bit, well, excessively frank, so I'm sure she didn't mean to hurt you, whatever she said. No, it wasn't her. I lashed out at her, unprovoked. Now that I have difficulty imagining. You always seem to be in control of your emotion. Actually, no. I was just reminded of this too. But as mature as you may seem, you're still only 11. There's nothing unusual about that, and there is nothing to be ashamed of. Stop thinking of me like I'm a normal girl. You are, no matter what you say. At least, you are to me. Oh, why the music, man? I'm about to cry again. I can feel it. The tears are building up. You're allowed to yell at someone if you're upset with them. You're allowed to get in a fight if you're having a bad day. You're allowed to cry. You're allowed to feel whatever you feel. You don't have to hold it in. Those are all things mere people do. And like I just said, you are a regular person. You're no different from me, or Maria, or Jern, or anyone else. Any other day, I would argue the point further. Calling me normal is akin to denying me my very identity. But right now, the word feels so welcoming. to the point I would feel bad fighting him over it. I wonder, what's so different about today? Hey, I'm sorry. What? You have nothing to apologize for. Not today, but a festival. I feel like I was trying to force you to have a good time. In fact, whenever you acted like you weren't, it got on my nerves. It frustrated me how I was trying so hard and you seemed to be trampling my effort. And I've been doing that for a long time now. I frequently get upset at your harsh words when I'm applying ointment. But I'm realizing what seems charitable and generous from my point of view isn't necessarily the same from yours. So I'm sorry for constantly being so presumptuous. Oh god, I'm about to cry. I won't try to coerce you into going to the festival next year. You're not yourself today. Excuse me? In what way? You're unusually open. I never thought you would come to that realization, let alone apologize for any of it. It certainly wasn't in my initial plans for the day, but for whatever reason, having you so close seems to have that effect on me. And for you too, if I may be so presumptuous. So it does. Well, we're on the same page about one thing. That said, I don't intend to back down on the ointment. I'm doing it because I want to, so just tell us if you're generously allowing me to have my way, if you would. Are you okay with that? You already said you weren't going to back down, so why are you even asking? Do as you please. That I will. But I won't stop complaining either. I'll have to practice not let it get under my skin as much then. Yeah? To this day... Yeah? What's up? To this day, I've never forgotten what my life was like 2 years ago. I have dreams, I have nightmares about it. My episodes back there was caused by one of those flashbacks. Well, damn that do it. I can't escape from the nightmares. They're always there, always right behind me. Sometimes I can feel the pain like I'm there again. Sometimes it's even worse than the real thing. I fear sleep. Will I ever be free from the Lord's terror? You will. You never have to see him again, and you can beat those dreams. It'll take time, but you can do it. He won't be able to terrorize you forever. Can I really beat them? Absolutely. If he shows up in your dreams, just close your eyes. Do anything you can to erase him from your mind. Banish all your memories of him. Do that enough times, and before you know it, you'll actually start forgetting about him, until eventually, every trace of him will be gone. Nothing that terrible will ever happen again. Oh god, this hurts so much, because you know what's gonna happen. You have my word, you can believe me. Everything will be okay. The Lord's not going for this world anyway. Not long for this world anyway, given how much hatred he's garnered from his people. And in any event, should it come to it, I'll take his head off myself. Don't do anything to put your life at risk. Huh? If you end up dying, I'll have nightmares of a different variety. Fair enough. You know, you're not acting much like yourself today either. That caught me off guard. Not in a bad way though, huh? I take it back. Burn in hell. Thanks. I was wondering... Huh? Will there be another festival next year? You mean Midsummer? It's an annual celebration, so yeah, there'll be another festival. Though, with the way things are going, I expect it'll keep getting smaller and smaller in scale. Why do you ask? Morgana? I would not be opposed to going again next time. Don't think you have to if you don't want to. I don't. Well, alright. Would it be presumptuous for me to assume you enjoyed yourself then? I can't say I especially did, no. I don't get it. Why are you saying you'll go next year if you had a bad time this year? Because I get the feeling that might change with time. Really? Yes. Alright, then I'll remind you when the time comes. Next year, the year after, and every year after that, you do that. So, hey, are you still planning to head out on your own when you get older? I am, yes. So nothing changed there, huh? All I do there is take up space. That's not your reason for wanting to leave, is it? You know that's not true. You keep the place clean and cook for the girls and do plenty else to help out. If anything, I'd say you only take up space far less than other kids your age. When I was younger, I did so much more to help so many others. I may as well be lazing around and doing nothing compared to what I was once able to accomplish. You know, I've avoided asking this question for a while, but what was your life before you ended up here? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. I am the daughter of... Morgana? Why can I not bring myself to say that I am the daughter of God? That I'm a saint? That I'm not like the rest of you? That my blood has miraculous powers? It's all the truth. So why do I fear acknowledging that I'm not one of them? I'm the daughter of the church, and I help spread the word of God. I assumed it was something like that. Did you grow up in a church then? Something of the sort. Huh. Well, the past is the past. What you did then, what you could do then, isn't necessarily what you have to do now. As far as I'm concerned, you're more than pulling your weight. If you don't want to stay at the brothel, that's one thing. But don't feel like you're not contributing enough. Tell me. What? Tell me about when you were younger. Why? Or don't. You don't have to. I never said I wouldn't. I'm just surprised to see you showing any interest in me. Today is just full of surprises. I think I mentioned how I don't remember much about my childhood. I have vague memories of how the language sounded, as well as the wheat field stretching as far as the eye can see. I love just sitting and watching as it swayed back and forth in the wind, like waves in the ocean of gold. I assume my parents were there with me, though I can't say for sure. Just remember, they were pleasant days. I don't remember where I was born, or what it was called, only that it was somewhere far from here. How did you end up in this city? Do you really not remember? I assume I was sold off. I found an opportunity and managed to escape, running and running and running for who knows how many days, until finally a city came into view, and into the slums I went. I only have scattered fragments of memories of that time. I assume it was so unpleasant my mind shut all of it out. I thought family were supposed to be those who wouldn't throw you out onto the streets? Huh? That's what Maria said. Oh yeah, she did, didn't she? Not every family's the same. Some will, some won't. My guess is that they were financially unable to keep me. But you know, nothing says you have to be blood related to be family. Maybe the first one to throw you out. Doesn't mean you can't go and find yourself a new one. What happens next? What? In your story, what happens next? Oh, you want me to keep going? I was kind of hoping you'd gotten bored. But alright. Living in a slum, surviving day to day was my first priority. I was too young to get any real work, so I became a thief. Heathen. Shall I burn in hell? I bet I'm completely irredeemable in your eyes. But I've stolen, lied, and deceived, and even killed people. What? I killed several guards in a slave revolt. Oh, and that wasn't the first time either. Even as a child, my hands were not free of blood. You are a sinner. A vile, wretched, miserable sinner. That I am. Burn in hell. I'm sure I will, once I'm dead. When you were younger, why did you kill? Maria told you about what a brothel used to be like, right? Real rundown and smaller than it is now. She has, yes. This isn't exactly the safest neighborhood now, and back then it was even worse. Our gang hadn't formed up yet, so naturally we weren't doing peacekeeping work either. One day, back when Maria was 12 and I was 14, a thief broke into the brothel. He attempted to rape her. As I watched the man knock her down, climb on top of her, my blood boiled. All I could think was about getting him off of her, and so I killed him. It was the first time I've ever taken someone's life. I was shaking from head to toe for I don't even remember how long. I could never imagine that happening to Maria. She's a tough woman, absolutely, and I wouldn't be surprised if she was calmer than me, but she was still only 12 at the time. Right about your age, in fact. Strong as she may have been, she couldn't possibly have been overpowered a full-grown man. The only reason I didn't end up dead is because I attacked him from behind while he was distracted. I understand good and well that murder is wrong, but sometimes it's you or them, and well, if you don't have the strength to kick back, the world will trample all over you until there's nothing left. I don't want to spend my life in constant servility, having everything taken away from me, always on the losing side. I'm tired of being on the bottom. I want to climb higher, high enough to look out upon the whole wide world. I see. And is that the same world you say you want to go out into? It is. And the world you keep saying you want to show me? It absolutely is. I see. That's not a world I want to see, though. But I have no right to trample on his dreams. Well, I hope you make it someday. As do I. She closed her eyes. Alright, we're almost there. See that building up ahead? I live on the second floor. Not the most comfortable place in the world, but it's a place to sleep and a roof over my head. Should suffice until you're feeling a little better. And don't worry, I'll sleep on the floor, so you can have the bed. So yeah, take as much time as you... Morgana? She's asleep. Oh, for the love of God. So goddamn much for that. Oh well. Once I've got her tucked in, I should get some sleep myself. You know, I kinda feel like I finally closed some of the gap between us, and I can only hope you feel the same. Sleep well, Morgana, and may you be free from your nightmares forever. I almost shed a tear. It was so close. Goddamn, the Lord. Oh? Finally, she may have a quiet sleep for once. Jacopo. Morning already? Or is it the afternoon? Either way, it's about time I got up. My back hurts like hell. Why? Alright, I slept on the floor and... Morgana? La 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 la. La 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 la. She's singing. There was something oddly revitalizing about the sunlight shining in through the open window. And the summer breeze lacked its usual stifling heat, in fact feeling quite pleasant against my cheeks. A pair of long, begrudgingly braids danced gently in the wind. Ah, leaning against the windowsill and singing was a young girl, beads of light streaming down over her small, robed body. I found myself staring, entranced by the sight. The ground where she stood seemed almost sacred, like it would be forever tainted if I set foot in it. The sounds of her voice washed over me like a wave in a seeped into my half-asleep body, permeating every fiber of my being. An indescribable amalgam of feeling welled up in my breast. It was a feeling similar to the first time I had heard her sing, only incompletely more profound. It took everything I had to keep the fire from appearing on my face, spilling from my lips. I simply sat there in silence, taking in the sight and sound. When she slowly turned to face me, the sunlight's now illuminating her silhouette. Oh, her face. Oh, I thought you were still asleep. Good morning. Hmm? Morgana, your face! What of it? In a half frenzy, I scrambled over to the window and grabbed her by the shoulders. Her eyes went wide for a moment, but she didn't shove me aside, only stared. I could see my own reflection in her golden eyes, and then, as my eyes grew accustomed to the light... Oh. Ah. I saw her, as she was. Face covered in the same marks I knew so well. What's wrong? Did you forget I was here? I could only imagine how stupid my face looked in that moment. Mouth hanging awkwardly, half-gaped, as I attempted a chuckle, only a sigh managing to make it up and out my throat. That's... Sorry. Still not all the way awake. Was the face I had seen a mere illusion? A fantasy conjured out by my mind? Almost certainly. It was nothing more than a figment of my imagination. But I wanted it to be what she looked like when she healed. And I wanted more than ever to finally see it for real. Because I was standing so close, she had to tilt her head back more than usual to see me, resulting in her face, usually concealed by her hood, being exposed to the sunlight. Even covered in grotesque marks, I was close enough to make it out of the precise outline of her face, the exact shape of her eyes, the perfect straight line of her nose. With each passing moment, that vision began to seem more and more real. I summoned the image of her healed face once more. Oh! Standing before me was a girl who could easily pass as a noble, a beauty and a dignity to match her impeccable singing voice. Imposing though she was, I was certain her smile would be filled with warmth. Is something the matter? Why are you staring at me? I know I'm hideous, you don't have to tell me, so get back. Morgana. What? I think I might love you. Oh my god. Dude, oh my days, he just said it. Excuse me. The words came out entirely independent of my own will. I didn't grasp the meaning of what I just said, until after I realized her brow was furrowed in perplexity. Until after, like a total buffoon, I thought, why Morgana giving me that look? A chill ran down my spine as I finally began to comprehend the absurdity of what I had said. Not a single excuse came to mind. All my words simply vanished into a thick, white fog. What had I said to her again? What had I said to this little girl? I loved her. Me? In love with a child? Is that so? Why, thank you. Wow, that is the most unexpected reaction. You sure don't sound surprised. How can she remain so calm? I'm barely keeping it together here. I don't see why I would be. You're only telling me what I already know. What? Say again? She already knew how I felt? I didn't even know how I felt. You care for everyone at the brothel. Huh? You love all the girls at the brothel like they're your own family. It's quite obvious from your actions. I suppose it doesn't hurt to put it in the words every once in a while. Oh, she misunderstood it. She thinks you love her like family, but that's not the case. But in any case, you've made your feelings quite clear. You've made it clear that I count as one of them. The only thing that's clear here is that you don't understand the first thing about my feelings. No, I meant... Do I really want to tell her right here, right now, that no, my feelings for her are different? Use your damn head, Jacopo. She's 11 years old, and you're 21. What the hell's gotten into you? Yeah, I meant it. Exactly like that. You took the words right out of my mouth. I see. Well, I'll say... It means a lot to me to be seen the same as everyone else. Morgana. I said nothing. You heard nothing. Ha! God. What is happening to me? I have no idea what's going on anymore. Nothing makes the damnedest bit of sense. I was having a difficult time accepting how taken I seemed to be with a girl. With this child. I covered my face with my hands, groaning and trying my best not to pay any mind to the pair of perplexed eyes I could feel staring a hole through me. And I thought, I have to at least wait until she turns 16. Yeah, that's true. I mean, contain yourself. Another... I can't read it. Time continued its slow, constant march, and soon winter was upon us. The skies were incredibly clear, hardly a cloud in the sky in sight. By all appearances, the weather was great, until the occasional gust of wind came along and chilled me to the bone. Each breath came out in a puff of white, dissipating as it drifted upward. Rubbing my arms, I made my way to where I knew I would find her. So it's a different day? Has she ever once skipped a day in the last 3 years? Rain or snow, sweltering heat or bitter cold, she always seemed to be here when I come looking. I let out a little sigh, then called for her. I swear, you spent so much time in this graveyard that one of these days someone's going to mistake you for a gravekeeper, or maybe a grave robber. She turned around to face me. She looked moderately annoyed, her glare piercing as ever. I could hear the soft bite of her voice before she even responded. Someone less familiar with her might perceive her mannerism as standoffish, not unlike she had been when I first brought her here. But I could clearly tell the difference. She was warming up, ever so slightly. I can understand a gravekeeper, but I take offense to the suggestion I would look like a grave robber. I'm praying for the souls who have no one to see them off. She was no longer walking on eggshells through every interaction, and her sense of self-worth seemed to have improved as well. I would even go as far as to say she could get a bit cocky at times, generally at my expense. But that also meant I didn't have to tread quite so carefully around her either. Trading grievances and insults was becoming our personal kind of banter. Rather than signifying a widening rift, the increased level of abuse was a sign of how much closer we'd gotten. Like any good friendship. Honestly, I don't get it. Why do we care so much? These are souls that have no one else to pray for them. At best, they may get a bit of lip service from the priest once or twice. It's our responsibility to offer a helping hand to the sick and the poor. To pray for the abandoned souls. Oh boy, here comes another sermon. What? I don't get why you need to pray for the dead at all. They're just a bag of bones. I hope you enjoy an eternity in hell, blasphemer. Hey, that was uncalled for. I'm joking, obviously. You take black humor to a new level. The fact that she would even call such remarks a joke was proof enough of how far she had come. This wasn't the first time I had told her I thought the living were more important than the dead, and we still disagreed on that point. But our differences in values had caused her to push away much harder before than she did now. At least, I was pretty sure she wasn't pushing me away as much. Hey, it's that time again, Morgana. Come on, don't turn away from me. I know you can hear me. I brought ointment, so let me put it on you. It's a waste of time. You don't know that. Your arms looks much better than before. It won't be long before your face starts healing too. Ointment isn't free. You're wasting your money. It's my money. I can use it however I please. So just shut up and let me do this. You're a very obnoxious man, you know. What was that? You want me to rub it real hard, do you? Fine. While it might appear I wanted something in return for my efforts, I wasn't in it for gratitude or reward. It was more like my way of retaliating. She bad-mouthing me. I made her take my ointment. We had performed this ritual hundreds of times now, though the exact shape of exchange slowly evolved over time. Where I would once desperately attempt to shoot down her assertions of wasting your time and there's no point, I had come to realize that doing so only put unnecessary stress on her, so I started jabbing back instead. And for all of her complaining, I was pretty sure Morgana wasn't entirely put off by my stubborn insistence. The day after the festival, when I had declared my intent to keep trying to heal her face, she had responded with, I won't stop complaining either. And I had said, I'll have to practice not letting it get under my skin as much then. I still remember that day quite vividly, and I hoped she did as well. So while it might come off like we were genuinely fighting, in reality, I quite enjoyed our little sparring matches. She was still outwardly resilient, and sulky as ever, but in a kind of charming way, that we had established this routine. Not having to be so painfully careful with my words made things easier for me as well. Huh. What are you laughing about? Oh, nothing. Hey, don't you give me that death glare of yours. You think this is me glaring? So I've been meaning to ask you something. And what would that be? What are you hoping to get out of repairing my face? I'm not trying to get anything, I just want you to heal up. And here I thought you were going to try and make me work at the brothel. How many times do I have to tell you? I'm not going to make you be a prostitute. What other reason would you have for wanting my face to get better? Because I want to see it. Isn't that enough? Just so we're clear, that wasn't me hitting on you, okay? The thought never occurred to me. I hope you're prepared to be let down if I ever do heal. In fact, you had best not to get your hopes up at all. The higher you let your expectation to climb, the greater your disappointment will be when I turn out to be equally hideous beneath these scars. Not even I can remember what I looked like before. I'm not afraid to be disappointed. That possibility is just part of the fun. You have as much tact as a worm. No, tact and preference for the ugly girls, I'm told. I'm a real winner. Ugly? It's a wonder no one throttled you in your sleep. I'll still be your friend, even if you turn out to be the ugliest girl in the city. You should be grateful. You're unbelievable. And to think I used to think you were a half-decent man. If you'd like me to go back to walking on thin ice, I can, but my gut tells me that's not what you really want. There's a difference between not sugarcoating your word and being outright rude, you realize. That is true, Morgana. Yeah, you're one to talk. How is it you haven't managed to chase off everyone in your life yet? I act like a decent guy around other people. Do my best to fit in. Then why are you such a dolt around me? Just doing my best to fit in. So you're saying this is my fault? Everyone could use a thorn or two. Makes it more exciting. You especially. Okay, that should be everything. Does it sink anywhere? Not particularly, no. Alright. Oh, also, finish up here and get back to the brothel soon. Unless you'd rather I drag you there. Why? Seriously? It's your damn birthday, that's why. And? What do you think, dimwit? Maria and the girls want to celebrate. Get back there soon, okay? I was planning to drop by too. Okay? Okay. As much as I love to admit it, she can be kind of cute when she's not wishing me eternity in hell. Not that I ever letting those words leave my lips. So hey, I thought you were leaving. One day, I'll show you the world. Sometimes I wonder if that's the only phrase you know. Yes, I heard you the first 100 times. I won't get my hopes up. And she thinks I don't sugarcoat my words? Get your hopes up, dammit. Anyway, I'll see you later. Wow. Every time he said it, it's just another dagger in my heart. It truly is, because you know what's about to go down. That is painful. I had every intention of making good on that promise, and I had more than enough reason to believe I could. Though, admittedly, it wasn't until recently I could say with such confidence. It was no longer a mere slum rat fantasy. Our ranks were getting stronger by the day. Discontent with the Lord was up. But overall, so was our morale. I could feel it. The time was near. Though the biggest motivating factor lay elsewhere. In something that had occurred about a month earlier. I had yet to share that little nugget with anyone else though. This could be the key to bring it all together. But I need to keep my head at the right place today. It's Morgana's birthday above everything else. Planning this revolution can wait another day. I was probably a bit too eager to get started. My judgment clouded by anticipation. The very thought that I could be soon be someone of real significance. and that excitement had probably leaked a bit into my conversation with Morgana. So now the raid is about to happen. Yeah, we know that, because it happened before the second uprising. So the raid is probably now. Oh boy. If only. If only I had understood. Had truly grasped the extent of my own capabilities where I should have been focusing my effort, then perhaps we could have ended up on a very different path. But it would not be until much, much later that I came to realize the error of my ways. Oh boy. About time you showed up. Get in here and give us a hand, would you? I was engulfed in the scent of roasting meat as soon as I stepped through the back door of the brothel. It smelled like it even had been seasoned with herbs, kicking my appetite into high gear. For the common man, culinary herbs were a delicacy, expensive, and not something you could get your hands on easily. And that went doubly for us in the slums. This is much more elaborate than I was expecting. How did you even get all the supplies you needed? It's mostly a mishmash of everyone's rainy day funds. Events like these are one and about the only way I can convince the girls to let loose. Everyone was also concerned about making sure they've always got plenty saved up, which ain't a bad thing in itself, but they're gonna end up stressing themselves straight to the grave. I smirked. Maria's heart was always with the girls. Obviously, the party was still for Morgana, but parties were meant to be enjoyed by everyone involved, not only the star. It would have been even better if we could given all the girls tonight off and partied till we dropped. But unfortunately, business isn't strong enough to afford that, and I'd rather not deal with a bunch of blue-ball buffoon bitching at me about it either. So, all the girls who couldn't take off are getting an extra slice of meat to make up for it. You're on cutting duty, and make sure to cut them exactly the same size. Don't want anyone blowing their top about not getting their fair share. The fate of the party is in your hands. Don't fuck it up. I get the feeling I'll be their punching bag no matter how I precisely cut the meat. On a somewhat different note, I'm surprised you had herbs lying around. Oh yeah, they were a gift from one of my regs. Oh, hello, Björn. What's up, Jackie? You're as obnoxiously perky as ever, I see. That's how you're gonna greet me, you big butt? For a particular subset of our customer base, it's that relentless perk that keeps them perky. Oh, come on, you had to make a dirty joke? I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a compliment. Some girl have to pretend to be spunky airhead to keep those guys coming back, but you're a natural. That's impressive as hell. It is? Wee, I got a big boss seal of approval. I don't think you quite get it, Jern. You know how Jern used to work up in the city? Well, one of our old clients followed her when she moved down here. And he's the one who gave her the herbs. Not the cheapo, bottom-of-the-line stuff either. This is some primo shit. Nice haul, Jern. You're right. You don't get this kind of aroma from a low-quality plant. It's strong enough, I almost wonder if people outside can smell it. I bet we'll have at least a few customers drawn in thinking they were craving pussy, only to find out they were really hungry. God, I wasn't expecting that. That is the first time this word have ever come up. And it was in the most hilarious context. Someone need to get this woman a damn filter. True! I really hope Morgs like it. I know she used to hate even the sight of meat, but it seems she's kinda gotten over that recent-ish. People do change over time, so maybe she'll be fine. Maybe she has some kinda traumatic meat-related past, and she's just now overcoming it. Or something to that effect. Hey, some help with these dishes would be real nice. Oh, pick me, I'll do it. Alright, Jackie, see you in a bit. It sure didn't take long for her to make this place her home. You make it sound like that's a bad thing. What? Do you not want her to be here or something? Just personally, I'm doing everything I can to make everyone here feel at home. No, I never said... why so serious? It was just a joke. I agree with you entirely. A girl like her doesn't belong in a whorehouse. No, she doesn't. A while back, I had suggested Jern look into some other line of work, to take up singing instead of prostitution. On her days off, she still went to the pub and performed, always to a great acclaim. And while it seemed she had seriously considered my proposition, a few days later she said, I think I'd rather stick around at a brothel for a while. You and Maria treat me like family. And I want to be with my family for now, you know? Aw, if that's what she wants, that's her choice. I have no right to force what I think best on her. So, question. Yeah? Have you decided on what you're gonna give to her? I haven't the faintest idea what you're referring to. Bullshit. I know you know. I know you know. I know. Oh god. No, you know, I know. What does she have to be so damn astute? Or is it just that obvious? I hadn't spoken about my feelings for Morgana with anyone since I realized I had them. Not even Maria, my closest friend. But she had a way of seeing right through me. And while she often poked fun at me about the age difference, she never actually mocked me. Not seriously, at least. Though she did avoid bringing it up while Jern was around out of respect for her feelings. Pretty much all the other girls seemed to have picked up on it, so Jern likely had as well. Then again, it was Jern, so it was equally likely she hadn't an inkling. After one particularly extensive round of teasing, Maria had gone on to say, "In the end, all that really matters is that you're happy. Sure, I'll feel bad for Jern. But ultimately, me and you, we've been through hell and back together. If I have to pick up one of you, it'll be you. And yeah, I know, cheesy as fuck. You don't have to tell me. But hey, there's still one chance Morgana will give you the most brutal rejection of all time. Hell, I'll call that one more likely than the alternative. Ha." That was her way of showing support. So what'd you get her? As your big sister, I'd be happy to check out a present before you give it to her. Make sure you don't make a big ass out of yourself. Again, I'm older than you. And again, we're not related. Huh. I bought a necklace, as per your suggestion. Girls appreciate that sort of thing, don't they? Most do. Me? I've got a taste for knives and other such pointy things. I doubt she has much interest in those, though. Sometimes, I wonder if you're actually a girl. Excuse you? Who's the last guy you saw with tits like these? I'm pretty damn smoking if I do say so myself. You're telling me this body doesn't light a fire in your loins? Not even a spark. I've grown so accustomed to seeing you over the years, you don't even register in that part of my brain. Is that how it works? You spend so much time with someone you go numb. Would you rather I did find you arousing? Hell no, you're so much lay a finger on me and I'll make sure you never get it up again. Then don't bring up the subject. I'm going to choose to believe she means I won't get up on my feet again. So, today's the day, right? You give her the present, then you finally tell her how you feel? Excuse me, why would I? Don't be a wuss. It's about damn time you manned up and told her. I think you got better chance than you think. Do I need to remind you how old she is? 12, as of today. Practically an adult. What? Okay. I was knee-deep in dick at that age. Oh, wait, it's from the first game. She said it to, I believe Mel's sister? As far as I remember. You're comparing her to you? And the answer was the same. Wait, no, I remember that. That's from the first game. She said it to Morgana, maybe. But I remember it. I remember this exact sentence. The longer you hold off saying something, the more difficult it becomes. Break a leg. Party's gonna be in the back, so there won't be any customers around to interfere. Alright. Anywho, I've got decorations to put up. You get going, meat boy. Meat boy? Would waiting until she turned 16 really be putting it off for too long? How would I even go about saying, assuming I actually did? Even if your face still isn't healed in 4 years, I'll take you as my lifetime partner, Morgana. God, no, that's terrible. There has to be a better way to put it. So much for a nice, relaxing birthday party. Then, Morgana arrived as the sun was beginning to set and our preparation neared completion. Myself, Maria, Jern, and an handful of other girls who didn't have to work were gathered in the back room. Dishes stacked with food lined the floor, and our group sat in a circle around it, several different conversations going on at once. I apologize for not being able to assist in any way. Don't apologize, it's your birthday. Sit your little bum down and let the world revolve around you for once. She's sitting. If you insist. Atta girl, hop on right down. Not in the friggin' corner. Hey Morgana. There's space next to me. It's much better spot than over there in the corner. You have easy access to anything you'd like to eat. Though I suppose if you wanted, I could get your food for you. I'll sit next to Maria. Don't think I didn't hear that. Hi there, Morgs. How's the drink? Your head spinning yet? It most certainly is not. Well, let's make it spin. Let's make the whole world spin. Whee! Wine is only to be used for nourishment. It is not meant for base recreation. You shall be smitten down from above if... It's fine, don't worry. Even God's taking the day off to go get wasted out of his mind. How dare you disrespect the Lord like that? Ah! Eat, drink, eat, drink. Wait, stop, I can't. I'm in heaven, my stomach in heaven. She sound asleep. Girls act like it's her birthday we're celebrating here. What do you say? Want me to give her a good whack upside the head? Nah, it's fine. Let her asleep. She looks so happy, I would almost feel bad waking her. If you say so. You're the one in charge today. So, you and Jern getting on alright? Huh? It looked like you were trying to keep your distance a little while back. I don't get that impression from you anymore, but if there's any friction at all, don't hesitate to let me know. I'm getting along fine with her now. If anything does come up, I will tell you. Okay. Well, I'm really glad to hear it. With Jern, it's, well, what you see, it's what you get. Once you get past that, there's never a dull moment with her. Indeed. Although, it wasn't anything I did that cleared the air between us, but... Oh? Never mind. No. She's murmuring to herself. And this asshole thinks because he's paying, that means he can do whatever he feels like, and I'm having to tell him to back off and just, I can't believe some of these guys. I'm so sorry. Ooh, I've got a good one too. The other day, this guy came in, totally shit-faced. Wait, are you serious? Why didn't you tell me about this earlier? I'd have chased the pricks off if I'd known. It seems like any time you get more than a couple of these girls together, conversation inevitably drift back to work. Which, of course, is the subject of Morgana least keen on. She looks like she wants to run away. Guess I've gotta step in. You guys think you could maybe change the subject? Like we have anything else to talk about. Making the birthday girl want to hide in a corner defeats the whole purpose, don't you think? Oh no, don't mind me. I don't have anything I want to talk about. At least eat something then. I've eaten plenty, thank you. I'm quite full. Then how about the cookies? They're barely sweetened and dry as rocks, but they're edible. Jacopo, you little bitch. You've got some stones to shit talk my cookies to my face. Stop it, Maria. Stop throwing things at me. For God's sake, can you not show a modicum of decorum for just one day? Yeah, you're totally one to talk. You could try not being a massive dick for once in your life. Name one thing I've done to warrant this kind of abuse. You first. You're the one who started throwing accusations. There it is. Right on schedule. You two little lovebirds. Fight. 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 We are not lovebirds. Oh, they said it together. Blah. I don't even care anymore. You are right about one thing, though. This is Morgana Day, so let's change the subject. Like I said, I don't have anything to talk about. Sure you do. You just have to look a little harder. I'm not saying you have to reminisce for us. It can be anything. Let's see. Here's an idea. Are there any guys you've got your eyes on? There is. Heck. What? Seriously? Holy shit. Who is it? Tell me. Who's the lucky guy? God. What? Don't give me that look. I don't need your sympathy. If you've got a dream big, right? Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Pining after the all-powerful, all-knowing God. I'm with you. You bold-faced liar. The grass may be a hell of a lot greener up there, but it's a bit far, don't you think? You're better off setting for the weeds down here. Settling. Did you just imply I'm a weed? Say, the young man over... Wait, stop right there. Don't say another word. Oofsie, me and my big mouth. I almost did your job for you. God damn it, Maria. This is not good. Like hell I'm going to let her spill it on a whim. I have to do something before she has another slip of the tongue. Morgana. What she was trying to say is that I have to go. What? I have to go to the bathroom. Sure. Nah, my sides ain't going to last much longer if you keep this up. This is no laughing matter. Ah, what the hell? Don't throw things at me. You did it first. Nah. Damn it all. Now that was a good laugh. God, you're such a dork. How hard is it to just say it? It would have been easier if you hadn't cornered me like that. You expect me to believe you would have done it without a little nudge? I would have. Eventually. Eventually ain't gonna cut it. Now's the right time. And don't worry, me and the girls won't make fun of you too much for getting your rocks off to little girls. That's not a reason I like her. Besides, I would wait at least 4 years before. Doesn't mean you can't tell her now. I think it'd do her wonders, really. She's, well, you know. So I think knowing someone cares about her lighten the load a bit. I mean, obviously we care about her too. She's like family. But there are some things sisterly love just can't hold a candle to. Mushy romance may not be my cup of tea, but it doesn't mean even I don't think it'd be nice to have something special every once in a while. When she comes back, give her the necklace and tell her how you feel. And if she turns you down, we can all have a good laugh about it. Maria and a few other girls chuckled. My lips had twisted almost into a knot from the sheer, overwhelming discomfort. But at the same time, I knew she had a point. I could say how I felt now, and just easily as 4 years from now. I couldn't develop into anything for some more time yet, no. But simply letting Morgana know that someone cared about her, and her specifically, could very well lighten some of the load she bore. As much as she had warmed up to us, she still very clearly kept herself walled off. And though she tried to pretend otherwise, she did still get rather gloomy whenever she passed by something reflective. But if I could convince her that her physical appearance had no bearing on my feelings, then maybe, just maybe, it could clear away some of the clouds hanging over her. Possibly even light the way to the day when I could at least see her smile. That was all the motivation I needed. I'll do it. I'll tell her. Not only for myself, but for her as well. I can do this. I remember this. And now I'm making myself nervous as hell. Calm yourself, Jacopo. This is nothing. You infiltrated the Lord Manor, for crying out loud. Telling a girl how you feel is considerably less likely to kill you. Even a child could do it. You look so tense, your nerves could snap at any moment. I am not that. God damn it, please hurry up, Morgana. I want to get this over with as soon as possible. It's starting. Yeah, I remembered it. I remembered it from the first game. Was that a... Sounded like a scream. Trouble with a client, maybe? No, it didn't sound like that kind of scream. Something's wrong. I can feel it in my gut. Maria, I need you to take the girls down to the cellar, now. Oh, alright. I'll send them down. But I'm coming with you to see what's up. I could just be a client causing ruckus. It could be. No, you go with the girls. I'll check it out. Now get moving. Okay, I'm going. Wake up, Jern, come on. Now. Following the first, there were several more screams intermingled with what sounded like men shouting from the guest room. Something very bad was happening out there. My sword is back at the armory, dammit. Oh god. Taking a brief detour to the kitchen to grab a knife, I then dashed through the corridors toward the source of the disturbance. Oh my god, if we're about to see images of that, that's gonna be horrible because I know what happened there. Shoving my way past a several layer thick makeshift curtain. No help! Stay back, I'm just a customer, I don't have anything, What the hell was I seeing? Help! Why was this happening? That's seriously all they got? My shit ain't worth more than most of this garbage. Take the horse alive, you hear me? They'll probably sell for more than anything else we find. They were laying waste to the brothel. Untrained, unarmed, and unclothed, the girl and their clients alike were helpless against the slaughter that being rained down upon them. Bludgeoned, mutilated, massacred. A good dozen men, thieves by the look of it, had swarmed the brothel, utterly ravaging it. Blood splattered every which way, staining the colorful fabrics hanging on the wall. The stench of blood, screams of agony, cries of fear, and hoots of mad glee all blended into one sickening blur. I nearly stepped into the chaos, but stopped myself at the last second. I was furious. Of course I was. I knew those girls, and this band of barbarians were slaughtering them before my very eyes. I wanted nothing more than to charge in and rescue all of them. But I also knew damn well that me charging in alone and there alone would accomplish nothing. God damn it, why now? Why here? Why? And how did they get so many men there? In here? If there were any signs of organized movement, someone would have noticed. I would have heard about it. How did they manage to sneak past everyone who we have on patrol? How is it even possible a bunch of damn bandits managed to organize a raid of this scale without anyone catching wind of it? Damn it. There was no saving anyone in the guest room. I need to find whoever else I can and get them through the back. As soon as I decided there was nothing I could do here, my next job was obviously to minimize any further loss of life. I knew, logically, it was a smart thing to do. But that knowledge didn't do anything to quell the anger roiling up around inside me. And then another thought snapped to the front of my mind, rattling me further. Morgana! She said she was going to the bathroom, which meant she hadn't come this way. Or so I dearly hoped. But hope wasn't enough to overcome the fear that she had. I searched frantically for any sign of her. More panicked than ever, even I realized. I knew exactly what was one of these brutes would do to Morgana if they happened to cross her. A prostitute in decent health they would merely take captive. But seeing Morgana's face, they would assume she had kind of disease, and they would kill her without a second thought. Morgana. Intending to take my search elsewhere, I set off, my shadow subtly darkening. But in too much of a rush to notice. Something seemed to crash into me from behind. The world flashed in and out of view. For a split second, the multicolored fabrics around me appeared in black and white. I barely held onto my consciousness. A few seconds later, the pain set in. My gaze drifted downwards to the curious protrusion in my stomach. The tip of a blade sticking out of my gut. Blood streamed along the middle surface. What? I twisted my body, distinctly aware of every minuscule movement of the blade as it slid through the raw flesh back out the hole it had entered. It was almost enough to make my legs buckle. When I finally managed to turn all the way around, there stood a large man, probably grinning. He kicked me backward, and then, rammed his heel through the gash in my stomach. I let out an animalistic howl. It was a pain unlike any I have ever experienced before. I felt as though I had been struck by lightning. The only thing I had room for in my mind was overwhelming agony. And before long, it reached its breaking point. damn it. And the whole world went black. Wait, is that how it happened? Jacopo, Jacopo, wake up please, open your eyes. I can't have you dying on me too. I'm begging you, open your eyes. Jacopo. What? Where am I? The back room of the brothel? I'm alive? Where is she? Lie back down, or are you trying to kill yourself? You're hurt bad enough as it is. I've been bandaged up. They're still bright red. I guess the bleeding hasn't stopped. I'm cold. I swear to God, I was sure I'd lost you. Maria, are you crying? You got a problem with that? Asshole? I'm sorry. How many years has it been since I last saw her cry? It was back when she was 12, I think. Besides us, there are 2 other girls here. No sign of Morgana or Jern. This can't be everyone who made it, can it? I have to... What? What did I just say? Lie your ass back down. You need to give it some time to heal before you move around much. Jacopo. Ignoring Maria, please, I stumble my way towards the guest room, leaning against the wall for support. I had evidently lost quite a bit of blood. I was freezing cold and constantly on the edge of vomiting. My body was heavy, like someone had strapped a boulder to my back, and my vision swirled, distorting with each step I took. I knew it wasn't that long of a walk from the back to the front, but it felt like it would take me ages just to get down this hole. Like I was on an endless march towards a vast, empty abyss. I had braced myself, but what I felt when I stepped into that room was a despair too deep for word. The meager scraps of strength that I had carried me this far dissipated, and I slowly slid down to my knees. The door hung open, a blood-soaked curtain flapping in the wind. The deep crimson was a stark contrast against the brightly colored fabric. The girls had dyed it themselves. I could still remember Maria first telling me about it, however many years before. Her eyes were alight with pride. How, when you put a whole bunch of different colors together, it made the place seem almost otherworldly. And the patrons who had been drawn in by its allure today had not found themselves in the land of milk and honey, but instead been cast into a pit of death. Several corpses lay motionless around the room, their faces twisted in agony, their eyes vacant. What the hell? Why? How could this happen? I asked, stupefied, neither expecting an answer, nor trying to place the blame on anyone's shoulders. It was an empty, meaningless lamentation, powerless as the man who had uttered it. All of us felt the same way, hopeless, helpless, horrified. Not more than an hour ago, we had been having a party, for God's sake, fooling around like a bunch of idiots, the girls complaining about their client, plates of food, specifically made for her birthday. Her birthday. Where's Morgana? I couldn't find her. Why not? I'm sorry. I looked everywhere, but I couldn't find her. I'm so sorry. I want to tell her I wasn't blaming her, but I couldn't find the words. If anyone, it was myself I was disappointed in. How could I have failed to keep her safe? Why had I been unable to find her? Why was I so damn powerless? This was supposed to be a good day for her. I had wanted to make Morgana's 12th birthday into a special occasion, something truly memorable, to celebrate the bright future ahead of her. And I had failed in the worst way imaginable. What was supposed to be celebration of life had ended up in a pile of corpses, most of the surviving girl taken captive and the brothel in shambles, and Morgana, who it was all supposed to be for, was most likely dead as well. She was dead. Morgana was dead. Before I had a chance to say anything, the girl I loved was gone. All because I was weak. Because I hadn't been cautious enough. Because I was completely, utterly powerless. And now she was gone for good. Before I'd managed to make her smile even once, I was going to show her the world. How full of myself was I? I hadn't done a single damn thing for her. Ah, damn. Physical strength was meaningless for what I wanted to achieve. What good was being number 2 in our little band of peacekeepers if I couldn't even stand up to a pack of bandits? I didn't have any real power. I was worthless, helpless, weak. My sole job was to keep this place safe, and it was painfully clear now how unsuited to the task I was. My initial fears were right. It was only the 4 of us who had made it through the assault. Maria said that, while they had made it to the cellar safely, they were soon discovered and most of the girls taken captive, Jern included. If only she had quit, left the brothel, taken up singing at a pub, then she could have been spared this. Spared having to be kidnapped for a 3rd time. But because she thought of us as family, because she cared about and wanted to be with us, she was taken away. If I had power, this all could have been prevented. Not physical strength or skill with a blade, but real, meaningful power. Political influence, import. If I weren't a peasant, no one would dare stand up to me. No petty thieves would ever consider raiding my property. I could have hired guards to watch over the brothel. The only reason the Lord, that reprehensible man, was still alive was because he had real power, enough to assure his own safety. If I had that kind of power, everyone would still be here, safe and sound. I could have made us certain of that. Maria wouldn't be crying. Jern would still be part of her family, and she, Morgana, would still be alive. She would still be by my side. That one simple thing could keep anything like this from happening again. In short order, Gretchen burst into the brothel. Seeing the carnage, he wailed in grief, which quickly transformed into fury. I watched on, only really half paying attention as he raged. He marched over and said something or another, though I couldn't say what. After the fact, Maria told me that I had been in stupor the whole time Gretchen was there. He had apparently tried to cheer me up, though soon found himself frustrated and finally disappointed in me. It took 3 days for me to get back on my feet. There was no sign of Morgana's body anywhere in the ruins of the brothel, which meant there was a chance, however slight, she was still alive. I clutched tight to the tiny sliver of hope, searching desperately for any sign of her. Maybe she had realized something was wrong and had gone into hiding, but no matter how many people I talked to, no one had seen anyone who matched her description. She was just gone, like a puff of smoke, which left 2 possibilities. Either she had been taken along with the other girls to be sold off, or she had been killed and her body disposed of somewhere out of sight. Well, we know she was sold off. While the latter seemed significantly more likely, deep down I still yearned for even the slightest trace of her. Maria encouraged me to let go, to move on, though I knew her well enough to know it wasn't out of lack of compassion. The whole affair had visibly taken its toll on me. One day, about a week later, my wound still healing, I made my way through the slums. Nestled away in an alleyway stood a nondescript little shack. I knocked on the door, and a few moments later, it slid barely half an inch open, just enough for the sole resident to peer out at me, suspicion clearly visible in her eyes. But once she realized it was me, warmth filled her gaze, and she waved for me to come inside, a gesture that somehow made it feel like I was being invited into another world entirely. Beyond the door stood a noblewoman who held herself with an elegance and grace unbefitting of the slums, but a darkness that felt right at home. Okay, this is how it starts. I heard about the attack on the brothel, and that you were hurt. I'm so glad to see you're well. You were concerned about my safety? The woman pulled back her hood, revealing her face. Though age had clearly begun taking its toll on her, there was still a striking beauty to her, a kind of beauty impossible to attain down here in the dregs of society. Her hair was burnt brown, her skin dark, and her facial structure somewhat similar to mine. I remember then that this wasn't the first time I'd seen her. Though it was fairly recently, not that many years ago, she would have had me believe. We had briefly crossed paths on the day of the Midsummer Festival. The woman I had bumped into, that was her. Of course, show me a mother who is not always concerned about her child's safety. Oh, we know that's not true. The woman's name was Oh man, what's with the names I can't pronounce? So, Jinra? I have absolutely no way how to say it. I'm gonna call her Jin. And she claimed to have been a maidservant for the previous lord. It wasn't unusual enough for someone of her stature to be living in a rundown shack in the slums, but her story got even stranger. She had supposedly had an intimate relations with him. She had borne his illegitimate son, and a month earlier, she had come to me and said I was that child. Says the woman I'd never seen until a month ago. Physical distance has no bearing on a mother's love. If you had gone to speak with the Lord and revealed your lineage when I first came to see you, you would never have been in that kind of danger. Jin spoke as though she knew exactly what had been going through my mind this past week. Wait, was she planning the raid? Now that I think about it? That could have been her. Just to lure Jacopo into the plan. The very words that had dominated my thought as I looked upon the wreckage. If only I had done as she said and asserted my nobility, then I would have had the power to prevent the attack on the brothel, to protect the people I loved. If what Jen said was true, the Barnier family once possessed more land than even the king. That land and the family was divided up between each of their sons. The Barniers were only a few generations removed from the current royal family, which was why they controlled so much land in the first place. And that meant, though it had diluted with each successive generation, there was still royal blood in the Barnier bloodline. And a child begotten by the previous lord was more than entitled to a place among the nobility. However, realistically speaking, even if I had lent my ear to cajolery, it wouldn't have changed anything, or worse, I could very well no longer be in this world. I wasn't stupid. This noblewoman, she was just using me. There is still time. Go to the Lord's manor, show him. I'm not really your son, am I? Jin fell silent for a moment, observing me. I had no memories of my mother. Sure, it might be nice if she were to show back up someday, but it just wasn't likely. Her whole story was extremely contrived. The sun could decide to rise from the west one day, and there would still be not a drop of noble blood in my veins. I knew perfectly well how filthy the blood in me was. Discussion will progress much smoother if we both know what the other wants of this arrangement. Start by telling me who we really are. Were you actually a maidservant for the previous lord? Yes, I was. She gave a nod, then walked over to a grimy shelf and retrieved a ring that looked very much out of place. It was made of gold, engraved with an elaborate insignia. There wasn't a metal worker anywhere in the slums, or the city proper at that, who could craft a piece so intricate. Look at this, it's a Barnier family crest. The previous lord gave me the ring as a gift, and I've kept it ever since, even after our relationship was discovered and I was chased out. I didn't sell it, because I knew I was with child. They will have no choice but to acknowledge you as legitimate heir if you show them this ring. Why did you wait so long to come find me then? I was afraid I might kill you if I brought you in as a baby. Why were we separated? Misfortune. One day, bandits came and kidnapped you. Presumably they were hired by the Barnier estate because they didn't want your existence coming to light. I consider it a miracle you're still alive. I can only imagine the stern look on my face as I listened to Jin speak. Part of me did indeed want to take everything she said as true. Wanted to believe I was someone important. Wanted to grab hold of the fantasy that I did have noble blood in me and never let go of it. And I had not come to face with my own powerlessness a week earlier. Perhaps I could have swallowed the delusion, used it as a stepping stone for my dream to show Morgana the world. It would appear you've done your research. I don't have any other family, to the best of my knowledge, which does indeed make me a good candidate for you to step in and claim your stake on. If I were to guess, your child with the Lord has either passed away or never existed at all. It's probably true that you worked the Barnier Manor, and it's probably true that you had relations with the former Lord. You were chased out, and now you live in poverty. You want to go back to your former, more comfortable life, and while you're at it, take vengeance on the current Lord. Or perhaps, you simply want the entire noble class to suffer. The specifics of your motives are irrelevant, though. Being a woman, you have no means to accomplish that yourself, so you came up with the idea of using a fake son. If your child were still alive, he would be right about my age, wouldn't he? And we look similar enough for you to convincingly claim we're related. But the biggest reason you chose me is because I made something of a name for myself. Because I was the one of the people involved in inciting the revolt 3 years ago. The perfect choice to spearhead a revolution. How dramatic. The man who set the Lord Slave free was secretly his family. The people would eat it right up. So how far off am I? Ha! Pruh. You're sharp for a filthy peasant. It would seem I chose wisely. I was right. She was manipulative, conniving shyster. But her insults didn't bother me in the slightest. Those words made so much more sense than any mad claim that I had royal blood in me, that I was some kind of hero. Following suit, I twisted my lips up into a smirk. I was a filthy peasant, and I was fine with that. All it means was that I had to claw my way up to the top. I'm in. Jin and I had discussed the details of her scheme, after which she gave me the Barnier's ring. I doubt anyone would have ever imagined it would end up in the grimy hands of a slum rat. Once our discussion was done, I headed straight to the pub, where the rest of the gang liked to congregate. Good, Jacopo, should you really be on your feet so soon? I'm fine, thanks. I'm glad to hear it. And I'm so sorry about what happened at the brothel. Is the gang here? What? Oh, yes, near the back. Thank you. Are you sure you're okay? Well, look at what the cat dragged in. Was just talking about going to whip your sorry ass back into shape. You ain't still moping, are you? I get it, kid. I do. It's bollocks, but you're a man. Instead of crying, you should be... Gretchen. Yeah? It's time we started ourselves a revolution. Ah, I love that. Are you just going to stare at me or actually say something? You're the one who always going on about the revolution this, revolution that. I think it's called being shocked to silence. You serious about this, Jacopo? Am I one to joke about this sort of thing? No, you're not. You're sure as hell aren't, are you? Well, it's about damn time, if I do say so myself. I knew you'd come around eventually. I knew you wouldn't stay sulky forever. Things will get better once we rip that fucker head off. Should cut down on the number of people turning to thievery, so we'll never have to deal with anything like what happened at the brothel again. Never again, you hear me? Indeed. What do you have in mind, Jacopo? Didn't you say we need some help from a noble to have a chance? We can figure that out after we crush the Lord's skull. Yeah, I don't think that's the best plan. What's gotten into you all? You're always going on about how you want to stage a revolution, and now that we're actually talking about it, you're pussing out? No one's pussing out, it just... We have a noble. For real? Well, if you got it all worked out, why didn't you just say so? So who's our guy? Who's the noble who agreed to give us a hand? The former Lord's illegitimate son. His actual son? Really? That means he could legitimately inherit the lordship. Whoa, how the hell do you get in bed with the biggest fish in the city? If you're telling the truth, this is huge. That don't just give us a leg to stand on. This puts the damn law on our side. So how hard it'd be to set up a meeting with the guy? This ain't some measly uprising. If we're going through with this, I'd like to see our royal sponsor for myself. You're looking at him. Say what? I am the former Lord's son. Oh god. No way. Not a chance. Seriously, kid. You need to find yourself a functioning sense of humor, cause that just ain't funny. I'm telling the truth. And this ring proves it. Ooh, it's a nice ring at all, but how does it prove you're a Barnier? Where did you... how... This is the real deal. I was a slave at the Lord Manor for a while. I've seen the family crest enough to recognize it. As I said, I'm not the kind of person to joke about this sort of thing. What? So wait, you're really... Holy shit, I can't believe it. One of us is an actual noble. You always did seem a little not like the rest of us, Jacopo. More uptight. Pretty sure I said the same thing when I first met you. That you looked like some rich aristocrat kid. This is great, guys. We can actually do it. We can actually make this happen. Let's do it. Let's start a revolution. Yeah! Gretchen? Ah, nah, it's nothing. I'm just surprised is all. Who'd have freaking thought? You, a noble. It's madness. How long have you known? And why didn't you tell me? I thought we were friends. I only found out recently. I'm sorry for keeping it from you. It all happened very suddenly. I was waiting for the right time to say something. No need to apologize, kid. You just put the wind back in our sails. Don't think I'm gonna start bothering you up just because you're a bona fide stick-up-the-ass type now, though. Of course not. The last thing I want to see is you licking my feet. Ha! Alright, fellas. We got ourselves a noble, so let's set a date and get this ball rolling. Yeah! And that'll be all for today's video. So we finally reached the infamous brothel raid, an event that kicked in motion the Jacopo replacing the current lord, and all of those events, which I'm pretty sure his, fake noble mother was planning, because it seems like Jacopo refused at first to go with her plan, but since the brothel was raided, he immediately accepted her opportunity. And I think her may be the one thing that caused it, because even the bandits didn't want to raid the brothel, so it makes no sense. And even though we didn't get a clear answer for that, maybe we will in the future, or maybe not. But I still think that it's her, because it makes the most sense. Other than that, we just started to see how the revolution was being planned, so surely tomorrow, where I continue playing, we'll find out more about that. But that is all for now, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.